my name is Katie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over all the books that I got for Christmas. It's a bit late, I've been working a lot, I don't know what else to say. This is in no way, form, shape, whatever it is. I'm not here to brag about what I got, I just want to show you what I got because I love watching these videos. So again, I'm not trying to brag. Tell me what books you got down below. So all the books that I've accumulated in this is books that I got from multiple people. Not just from one specific person, it's a lot of people. So I don't remember specifically what books came from what people, but yeah, that's really it. Okay, so the first books that I got for Christmas were From Blood and Ash and Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I got these two books. The reason I got these two books is because everyone on TikTok, BookTube, like everywhere, was raving about these books. So I decided to put it on my list and I got it. Not really sure exactly what it's about. I know she has a lot of different books and different series, and I've read a couple of her things, not a lot. I do have a good amount of her books, but I feel like these are one of her most talked about so far. I don't know, but I have not started these yet. I don't know when I'll be starting them, but I hope to start them soon. The next book that I got is The Unraveling of Cassidy Holmes by Elisa R. Sloan, I believe. I saw Emma from Emma Books read this. I think it was one of her Book of the Month book picks, and it sounded very interesting. It reminded me of Daisy Jones and the Six in a way. Instead of it being like a rock band group, it's a pop group. I think it's like a girl pop group, and now she's dead. So it's not told in like interview style like Daisy Jones, it's just because of the band, I guess, it reminded me of it. So I thought, I love Daisy Jones and the Six, so I thought why not give this one a try because it has similar vibes, I feel like, and because Emma was reading it, so got this one. The next two books I got were Kingsbane and Lightbringer from the Imperium trilogy by Claire Legrand. I have the first book already on my shelf somewhere up there. So the first book is called Furyborn. I have not read that book yet, but I decided to get the last two books in the series because I do plan on marathoning them. I heard nothing but great things about Furyborn, and I am very excited to start that book and then continue on with the last two. The next couple books that I got were The Poppy Wars, The Dragon Republic, and The Burning God by R.F. Kuang. Everyone on BookTube has been talking about this book. I've heard nothing but good things about this book. Literally, I have not heard one bad review of this book. That's really all I know about it. I know there's a Twitter post about the history of it that I want to read before jumping into the book. I have it saved because one person on Twitter went into like a full depth history behind this book because it has a whole, I believe it's like a Chinese background, I could be wrong, about the history. Like it has some sort of ties to China's history. And I don't know, I got it because everyone was loving it. I mean, it's kind of what I did with a lot of these books, but it's what I got. The next book I got is Interesting Stories for Curious People. My mom actually got me this book, I know that for a fact, because she got me and my uncle the same book because we're very curious people. We tend to pick up everything that is there to read, I guess. Not like really to read, but just like interesting stuff. Like we like to know interesting facts. So it's a collection of fascinating stories about history, science, pop culture, and just about anything else you can think of. So it has The Celebrity Cannibal, The Big One Hits the Midwest, Billy the Kid, The Loch Ness Monster's American Cousin. So just like random interesting facts, I guess. Snake Eyes and Dogs, The Sky Samurai. So I've only read one, and they're very short. It's like 2-page little like summary things. I don't know, she saw it on Amazon and got two, one for me, one for him. So he got it for Christmas, and I think he read the entire thing on Christmas, to be honest, because he wouldn't put it down. I haven't started it yet, personally, but I'm excited to read it. The next book that I got for Christmas is The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodore Goss. I definitely pronouncing it wrong. I believe this is a Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson kind of book. what is it called? Retelling in a way. I believe Riley was reading this and it sounded interesting and I think she liked it, so I got it too. It's Mary Jekyll, alone and penniless following her parents' death, quickly finds herself drawn into the secrets of her father's mysterious past. Then there's Edward Hyde, so Jekyll and Hyde, and Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. So there's a lot of crossovers here. And Frankenstein. So yeah, there's a lot of crossovers in this. So I'm excited to read it. So she liked it, so I got it too. The next book I got for Christmas was How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories by Holly Black. I absolutely loved the Cruel Prince trilogy. I absolutely loved it. So I had to get this edition, and I really don't know what it is. It like a novella, or I don't know what it is, but it's very little. Like, it's less than 200 pages. So this tale includes details of life before the Cruel Prince and adventure beyond the Queen of Nothing, and familiar but pivotal moments from the Folk of the Air trilogy told wholly from Carden's perspective. So I found that very interesting, but it is very small, but I had to get it in hardback because my other books are in hardback. So they have like little detailed drawings in here too. I don't know if you can see that. So I plan on rereading the trilogy first before reading this, but I did want to get it just so I have it. So that's what I got. Then I got the Caraval special edition by Stephanie Garber. I saw this in Barnes & Noble because I did not know that it was I didn't know it was a thing. So I saw it and I freaked out because I had just finished the trilogy and I absolutely love the trilogy. It almost beat out ACOTAR for my favorite trilogy, but Rhysand has my heart. So that's what it looks like. So I'm very excited to read this trilogy again, and I'm definitely going to read it from this edition. And I'm very excited. It's very beautiful. So that and that. So I saw it at Barnes & Noble and I freaked out and bought it. So I bought this one myself. The next few books that I got were The City of Brass. I currently have the book in my room. I'm reading it right now. The Kingdom of Copper. And The Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty. I'm pronouncing it wrong. I apologize. Again, everyone on BookTube and Book Talk, I saw this book everywhere. I feel like all of a sudden became very popular as like an adult fantasy. So I had to get it, give it a shot, and I'm only, I think, like 50 or so pages in, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm loving it so far. Nothing more to say. It's a bit confusing because this is mainly my first adult fantasy book, I would say. All my other ones are more young adult fantasy. So there is definitely a difference. So I am reading it slowly, but I'm understanding it pretty well from what I read so far. So at least for the first 50 or so pages, I definitely recommend. The next book that I got was The Devil and the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. This is a book from the author also wrote The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which I have over there. I just haven't read it yet. But Reagan from Peruse Projects hauled this book in November or December that she was planning on reading it, and it sounded very interesting, so I put it on my list and I got it. It's a murder on the high seas, a detective duo, a demon who may or may not exist. So I have no idea really what else it's about, but I believe it takes place on a ship. So I'm very excited for this one, and I hope to enjoy it. So yeah, that's another book that I got. The next book that I got was The Coast to Coast Murders by James Patterson and J.D. Barker. I love James Patterson's books. I have a lot of them, however I did acquire most of them secondhand from my aunt, who tends to read books only once. Like, she won't reread books, so when she finishes a James Patterson book, she'll give them to me. So I have like a mangled collection there on the shelf right here. So I do tend to love his writings, and this one just sounded very interesting, and I didn't have it yet. I think this is my first actual copy I ever bought myself. There's a killer on the road and nobody's safe. Michael and Megan are siblings who share a terrifying path, and then there's murders all over the coast, so in California and upstate New York. So I'm very excited for this one, and I hope to read it soon. The next book that I got is The Cousins by Karen M. McManus. I read 2 of her books from my cousin and absolutely loved them. And then she is loaning me the other one over here. It's actually right behind my head, the Two Can Keep a Secret one. Yes, and I have not read that one yet, but I thought I would pick this one up and give it a shot as well. This one sounded very interesting, and so far I've loved all of the books that she's written, so I thought, why not get myself a copy of it instead of borrowing it from my cousin? So I got this one. The next two books I got are A Field of Bones and Sins of the Fathers by J.A. Jance. J.A. Jance is one of my favorite mystery writers. I have a couple of her books on the top of my shelf, and they were on Book Outlet for pretty cheap, so I thought I would pick up the two that they had that I didn't already have. I don't really read her in order, although I feel like you should. I didn't know that there was a specific order when I originally got J.A. Jance. I kind of just picked a book up and it ended up being out of order. So I thought, you know what, let me just get the two since I don't read them in order anyway and expand my collection on them. So I hope to read these soon. I believe this one is the Brady one, and this one's, yeah, J.P. Beaumont. I prefer J.P. Beaumont mainly because I have more. I think I have like 3 of his and then 1 of Brady, but I did enjoy both, but I do prefer Beaumont to Brady. So the main reason I kind of got this book was because I needed free shipping, but I was also interested in it, and it is a Life in a Medieval Castle by Joseph Gaius and Francis Gaius. Basically, it's for George R.R. Martin's The Game of Thrones. I loved the series from what I've watched so far, so I thought I would give it a shot. It has cool pictures in it too. Not a lot, it's more of like a history book itself, but like it has this picture in it. So I thought it was cool. I thought might as well. So it has, where is it? The Household, A Day in the Castle, The Making of a Knight, The Castle Comes to England. So it's more like a history book type thing, but I needed free shipping and it sounded interesting, so I got it. The next book I got was also another cover buy, and that's The Queen's Rising by Rebecca Ross. Again, I added it to my cart because of the cover, but bought it because of the synopsis, and on the top it says, he chose betrayal, she chose vengeance. So I'm very excited for this one and hope to read it soon. Like a lot of these books, I honestly hope to read all of these books soon because I am in kind of a reading mood, but I don't want to push myself because I got out of a big reading slump a couple years back and I'm slowly getting my way through it again. So yeah, so for all these books I hope to read soon, but who knows, I might not read this for years. The next book is Meet Me in Monaco by Hazel Gaynor and Heather Webb. I put this in my cart because of the cover, and then upon reading the back, I loved it, and when I was explaining the book to my mom, she goes, oh, like the real princess, like the actress like Grace Kelly, and I go, wait, that's an actual person? Like I had no idea that this was an actual person. So it's like a fictional story but interwoven with actual facts, I think. I mean, Grace Kelly is a real person, but I don't know, but then the other people are not, like they're fake, you know what I mean? So I don't know like if there's like an actual genre, if it's just fiction itself, or I don't know how else to describe it, but it has a real person, but then there's fake people. I'm excited for this one. So the next book that I got was Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan. I recently watched the Netflix adaptation of this book and absolutely loved it. I watched it all in one day. Very easy to do because it was only like 30-minute episodes and there's only I think 10 episodes. So I wanted to get the book so I can read it. I have seen the book before and I was never interested in it. Just I don't know why. It was just like it was on my radar, but I never actually picked it up. And then it became a series on Netflix, so I go, now's the time to watch it. If I like it, then I'll get the book. I absolutely loved the movie, so I got the book. I have not read the book yet, but it is pretty small. It's like 250 pages, so I can definitely read this all in one day. I may wait until it's Christmas season again to read it because this is more of a Christmas book, or I might read it soon. I don't know, but I'm excited to read it because I love the show so much. The next book that I got was, I also didn't know it was a part of a series, but until like after I got it, but I still wanted to get it because it sounded very interesting, and it's 13 by Steve Kavanaugh, and it's the serial killer isn't on the trial, he's on the jury. So I thought that was very interesting, like how is that gonna play out? And it was literally the cover, because of the little synopsis, like little detail on the front of he's on the trial, instantly put in my cart. Like I didn't want to read anything else about it, like I didn't care. And then upon investigating to see if this author had other books, I found out this is like the third or fourth in a series of like this particular like detective. So I don't know if I have to read the others first or I might just read this one and then get the others. I don't know yet. I found it funny how I'm like, oh, here we go again with getting a series out of order. But it's the plea and the defense, and it's about like, oh, not a detective. I think it's defense lawyer Eddie Flynn. But I'm very excited for this one. I might start this one very soon because I'm very excited for it. So I might not wait to read the others first. I might just read it out of line like I do with a lot of like my mystery ones or like thriller. So I'm already recommending this one personally when I haven't even read it. The next one I got is There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. Again, cover by, then it sounded very interesting. The age of darkness approaches, 5 lives stand in its way. Who will stop it or unleash it? So I really don't know what else it is about. I don't know if it's a series, if it's going to be a standalone, but it sounded interesting. So there's a prince exiled from his kingdom, a ruthless killer known as the Pale Hand, a once fearless leader torn between his duty and his heart, a reckless gambler with the power to find anything or anyone, and a dying girl on the verge of giving up. One of them or all of them could break the world. Will they be savior or destroyer? So it sounded interesting. Again, don't know if it's a series or standalone, so let me know down in the comments what it is. But again, if you got a good cover, I'm most likely going to buy it. The next book that I got was 9 Perfect Strangers by Leanne Moriarty. She is the author of Big Little Lies, which is an HBO show, I believe. I've watched the first season. I even have the book somewhere. I don't know if it's on this shelf or another shelf. I don't know. I think it's over there. It's over there. I see it now. Haven't read it yet. But I watched the first season, absolutely loved it. I haven't watched the second season yet. So this one I believe is going on Hulu. It's being adapted to a series. So I saw it on there and I got it. And it's hardback too. So it sounded interesting. It's becoming a series, so I got it. The next book I got was Sleigh by Brittany Morris. A lot of people were raving about this book. I believe it's like a coder. She is a black gamer who duel worldwide as Nubian personas in the secret multiplayer online role-playing card game Sleigh. However, no one knows that Kira is the game's developer. So everyone was reading it and everyone was loving it. So I got it. The next book that I got was Genuine Fraud by E. Lockhart, who is the author of We Were Liars. Now, We Were Liars is one of those books where you read it, you chuck it across the room, and you contemplate life for a couple days or two. So I'm very scared going into this book because it gives me the same vibe as We Were Liars. Basically, it says, Imogen lives at the Playa Grande Resort in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. She spends her days working out in the hotel gym and telling other guests about how she was forced out of Stanford. But Imogen isn't really Imogen. She's Jewel, and she's on the run from something or someone, which means, where is the real Imogen? So it gives me very much We Were Liars vibes, and I'm very scared to read this, but also very excited. And it's very small, too. I'm trying not to spoil myself, so it's less than 300 pages. I saw 259 and I stopped because I didn't want to spoil myself, because usually at the ending of her books is when it really pops out at you. So I definitely want to read this one, but I'm scared. So we got that. The next book I got was Four Dead Queens by Astrid Schulte. Again, don't know if it's a trilogy, series, standalone, but it says 1 big lie, 2 forbidden romances, 3 days to catch a killer, 4 dead queens. So it also has deckled edges. So again, don't really know much about the book, but it had a pretty cover, so I put it in my cart, like a lot of these books. Next book I got was A Poison, Dark, and Drowning by Jessica Clueless. This, however, is the second book. I thought it was the first book, and I don't have the first book. The first book is A Shadow, Bright and Burning, so I still need to get that book, but I'll pick it up eventually. Again, I don't know much about the book. It had an interesting cover, so I put it in my cart, so I got it. On the back says, the magicians want her to lead, the sorcerers want her to lie, the demons want her blood, Henrietta wants to save her love, but will his dark magic be her undoing? Praise for the first book in the Kingdom of Fire series, which is A Shadow, Bright and Burning. So I guess it's a series, not a trilogy. Oh, Stephanie Garber blurbed it on the front. So that's going to make me want to read it more because I love Stephanie Garber. So the next book I got was Lady Smoke by Laura Sebastian. This is the second book to Lady Ash, or Ash Crown, or Ash Princess. I think it's Ash Princess. It's Ash Princess because it says it on the back. And it says, "Scars fade and ashes wash away, but a queen never forgets." So I have the first one, haven't read it, so I got the second one because why not? So I don't want to read much into it because I haven't read the first one, but I'm very excited to, I believe this is going to be a trilogy and the third book comes out soon. I know Ash Princess got a lot of like marketing for it, but this one, I didn't even know it came out, so it didn't get as much marketing, but I'm still excited to read it, honestly, because the first book still sounds really good. The next book that I got is Seafire by Natalie C. Parker. Again, never heard of this book before until I saw the cover. Thought the cover was really cool, read the synopsis, and here we are with the book in my hand. It's a trilogy. Seafire follows a captain of an all-female ship intent on taking down a vicious warlord's powerful fleet. So I haven't read many, I guess, sea books or ship books, although this is the second one in the haul. But one of my favorite books of 2020 was All the Scars and Teeth, and that took place on a ship, and I absolutely loved that book. I actually ordered the Owl Crate edition of the second book because I have the Owl Crate edition of the first book, so I'm very excited for when that comes. I plan on rereading it soon in anticipation for the second book. But it was on the sea, cool cover, and the front says "Sisterhood is Survival," so hope to read this soon. The second to last book, I know, is Always Never Yours by Emily Wibberley and Austin Siegmund Broca. I don't know. It was a very pretty cover. The synopsis sounds interesting. I don't know. I really kind of got it because it was pretty. Because I'm not really into young adult contemporary anymore. I find them very childish now. However, it was pretty cheap, and I mean, because it was on Book Outlet. And the cover is very pretty. It's a very pretty color. Like, this would be very pretty in the springtime. I mean, the inside is the pink color, while it's like this nice, I don't know if it's like a teal-ish color. I wish this was pink, though. That would have been very pretty. So I got it because it did sound interesting. It says, "Shouldn't a girl get to start in her own love story?" So if I don't like it, I feel like my cousin will like this book, so I thought I would give it a shot. The last book of this Christmas extravaganza is His Hideous Heart, 13 of Edgar Allan Poe's most unsettling tales, reimagined, including the original tales, edited by Dahlia Adler. I like these kind of books. I forgot what they're called. I have a couple. Oh, they're literally right behind me. It's Because You Love to Hate Me, 3 Sides of a Heart, Summer Days and Summer Nights, and then I have the Christmas one somewhere up there, My True Love Gave to Me, where it's a bunch of like short stories by different authors all bound into one book. So I love Edgar Allan Poe's writings, and this has the writings in it, and then the authors made a new story based off of the writings, so I thought it was very interesting. I've had my eye on it for a while, and since it was on Book Outlet for pretty cheap, I decided I'll get it, might as well. So it has Kendar Blake, Dahlia Adler, Tiffany D. Jackson, Tessa Gratton, Hilary Moen, Amanda Lovelace, Emily Lloyd Jones. So I know like 1 or 2 authors. A lot of them are new authors to me, which is good because then I'll get familiar with their writing and see if I like their writing to then look up what books they wrote. So I got that one just to give it a shot. I am very blessed to be getting all of these books from family members, and that's really one of the main things that I asked for Christmas was books. I didn't really get many other things. The only other things that I did get were new bookshelves, which I haven't even put together yet. I'm not doing that until maybe next week or so, but I got that and I got books. So that's really all I even asked for Christmas. So I hope you enjoyed it. If there's any books on this haul that you think I should read first, or that you got as well, or just tell me a book that you got for Christmas as well. I love putting books on my radar, on my Goodreads. If there's anything that I should know for the upcoming year, let me know down below. Thank you for watching if you watched it all, and I hope to see you again. Subscribe down below, give it a like, comment, share to your family and friends, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye!